Hello, everybody. If you could use a little bit of guidance or would just like to know more about what's in store for you personally, I do offer several different levels of astrological service. These can be found through the astrological services page of my website, which you will find at the link above. If you'd like to learn astrology, I also have an online academy, the Pulse of the Universe Academy of Vedic Astrology, and you can find out more information about that at the following link. So when you get into your car, or when you get into a car, if you're not the driving sort, okay, if you turn on the ignition, what are you going to do first, right? Are you going to put your foot on the accelerator pedal, or are you going to make sure that your hands are firmly planted on the wheel? I think you're probably going to want to do the latter, because if you don't do that latter, then you're likely going to find yourself in a heap of trouble, right? And we know things like that until sometimes we don't. And we find ourselves in a situation where we're considering doing something similar to the very opposite of that situation, right? That's why it's said that power should be wisely stewarded. Because when power is placed in the hands of erratic energy or nervous energy or energy that just plain isn't confident in its capacity to handle it, well, as history has taught us, the not very good things happen as a result of that. So why, at this present moment in time, are you considering taking a jump at a situation, even though you're uncertain as to direction? At the present moment, at the time of the new moon, there's a lot of Rajasic energy that's active in the sky. If you don't know what Rajasic energy is all about, it can be very racy, filled with desire. And at the time of the new moon, we have the moon, sun, and Venus, all three in a Rajasic nakshatra, Ashwini nakshatra. Ashwini nakshatra, when it's confident, it knows exactly what to do. When there's a lack of good strength backing up that particular nakshatra, then it becomes split and confused as to direction. And Mercury is also in close proximity to these other three planets. Mercury itself, also a Rajasic planet in Revati Nakshatra. And there's a little bit of wisdom with Mercury, but we're going to come back to that because, basically, well, why don't we talk about it now? Hey, it's Rajasic energy after all. We don't want to wait, right? So Revati Nakshatra is also giving you some wise input in terms of that little voice in the back of your head that's going, hey, it might be wise to put the brakes on. But at the present moment, you're feeling a spark, a drive, because something has been revealed to you. And with that recent revelation, you feel that it's high time that you set the wheels in motion towards creating a much needed shift in one direction or another of your life. And you're not really that super patient to wait to get things moving, because you feel like a problem really needs to be dealt with, and it needs to be dealt with now. Right? And because you feel like it needs to be dealt with now, well, you're a little bit nervous and you're a little bit hesitant about waiting, right? Do you remember that first time you drove a car, if you've ever driven, right? Especially if you had your parent in the car with you, you likely felt really nervous. And then the one thing that you knew you should be doing, you weren't going to be able to do it appropriately. Right? It's a similar thing with this particular energy. If you're feeling nervous, if you're feeling uncertain, then it's probably not the best time to act. You only feel that you can't wait. You actually have more time than you might think that you do. Now, mixed in with this particular bag of emotions that you're experiencing with this new moon energy, we also have an influence from Saturn in Dhanishta Nakshatra. Saturn's also trying to tell you, hey, you need to have a little more backbone. you need to be a little bit stronger. You need to be a little more, determined, and you need to be less nervous. But at the same time, that Saturn is kind of telling you that you have a point to prove. Somewhere in your life, there are others who are bestowing their confidence in you. And because their confidence levels are beginning to wane, you feel like you have to prove that you're worthy of their confidence. But you're not going to be able to prove that you're worthy of their confidence if you're doing something that's going to create more problems rather than creating more solutions. So if you go off half-cocked at the present moment, well, you're likely going to cause a problem of something that's going to come tumbling down around you. But if you take your time with the situation, if you're patient, if you apply awareness to the situation, if every time you feel that impulse that you need to do something and take action and it needs to be done now, if instead you can remind yourself that perhaps the right action that needs to be taken right now is being patient and taking the time to develop a plan before you move forward. So remember, ignition, hands on the wheel, release the brake, and foot on the accelerator slowly, no matter how passionate you feel about getting to your destination. And if you could use a little bit of help in getting from point A to point B, whilst I don't have a driving service, I do offer several different levels of astrological service, and these can be found through my services page that you will find linked above. That's going to do it for this look at the new moon in Ashwini Nakshatra, which takes place overnight from the 11th to the 12th of April 2021. Until next time, please do take the very best care of yourself. Bye now.